So just what is this thing we keep talking about, culture? It's a rather broad, amorphous term that a lot of people define in different ways. So it's important to have a common language that you can use when you're communicating the importance of culture. And if you're going to track your progress as you're shifting your culture, it's important to keep in mind, well, what the heck are we talking about? There's lots of different definitions out there. I'm going to give you some that resonate well with my clients, that work well for me when I think about culture, when I'm doing my culture training. And the first one just being that it's the feel of the place. It's the vibe. It's the environment. You can go into a certain department, into a certain company, and right away you just get a sense of the vibe of the place. Now, that may sound a little airy-fairy. That may sound not very scientific. Pretty hard to measure vibe, right? It's not like you can break out your old vibe meter like a Ghostbuster and, crank the dials and, whoa, the vibe is off the chart in this room. However, I wouldn't discount the importance of that. Our gut level feelings about things matter. Your employees' gut level checks, if you ask them, if you include that question in a survey even, what is your feeling about the vibe of this work environment? You can get some interesting dialogue, interesting conversations going. And it is something to consider because even though we can't measure it objectively, it is something that I think everybody intuitively understands. You can sense, you can just feel it. Another great definition of culture is it's just how we do things around here. And if you catch yourself ever saying that, well, this is just the way things work around here. It's how we do things around here. That's a culture statement. That reflects your culture norms, both good and bad. Sometimes people say that when it's not a very good practice at work, and they say, well, that's how we do things around here. That reflects and defines your culture. But it's not the what you do, it's how you do things that drives success. That's why culture is such an important competitive advantage. It's how you do things differently than your competitor, not just the what you do in your business. And this goes down to the individual employee level as well. We've all probably worked with people that are brilliantly smart, really intelligent people that are highly trained, highly skilled technicians. They have a very deep level of knowledge in a specific area, so they know their job intimately, but they're a jerk to work with. They are a pain in the butt to work with. And what we need to communicate to our employees, this is why hiring, training, onboarding, this communication stuff is so important. That's not enough. If you were going to build a rocking great culture, those people need to understand that part of their job isn't just to be technically proficient. It's how they're going about their jobs that matters. That's why I love what a bank in Denmark, in Copenhagen, has done in terms of giving their employees a sense of purpose broken down into two different categories. And I really love this simple concept. So the first purpose that they tell all their employees, their reason for being, their reason for having their jobs is, of course, to provide phenomenal customer service to their banking customers. That's number one. But then they also say, another part of your purpose working at this bank is to contribute to the kind of work environment, to the culture that makes people want to show up on a Monday morning. And so they make that totally clear that part of your job isn't just to serve our customers, just to do your job proficiently well. It is to think about how you are contributing to the culture in our bank. So culture is how you do the things you do. And at a broad level, culture is reflected in your words that you use, the language you use. It is reflected by the artifacts that you display in your workplace, the physical environment, the things you hang on the walls. It is reflected in your values, your traditions, your behaviors, your attitudes. All of that separates you and makes you different than your closest competitors. And think about that for a moment. How are you right now different than your closest competitor in terms of your culture, how you do things, and how do you want to define yourselves differently than your competitors? All of those things contribute to your culture. Another definition that I love is your culture is what your employees do, or it's certainly reflected in what your employees do, how they behave when nobody is looking. That's a really cool definition because it gets to the heart of so many different workplace culture issues, like trust, like clear expectations, how autonomous employees feel, how empowered employees feel. How do your employees behave when nobody is looking? Your culture is also, and here's a challenging thought for you, your culture is also reflected in terms of the lowest common denominator behavior that you tolerate. If you have practices in your workplace right now that everybody knows are kind of down here and that, they're not the best practices, that's because your culture is allowing that to happen. That's because your culture is supporting those lowest common denominator behaviors. So I challenge you to think about those and think about those hard, what those behaviors might be. And your culture, of course, is also reflected in what you aspire to be at your absolute best. So take some of those phrases, some of those words, and see if you can make them work for you or use them all. Culture, it's hard to distill down sometimes to just one or two words. It takes a conversation sometimes. Turn it into a story. Turn it into real life examples if you want to drive home the importance of culture and what it is you mean when you speak about culture.